Hey, what's up, everybody? BDL44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the Memphis Grizzlies stomp, mowed down, beat up, wiped away, obliterated the Golden State Warriors, 134 to 95, I believe it was. Very, very, very sickening score if you're a Golden State Warriors fan. I didn't see this myself, but I hear Steph Curry responded to someone saying what were they going to do tonight to the Grizzlies. I guess he responded by saying, whoop that trick. So they played the song a lot tonight as they proceeded to whoop the hell out of them. I don't know exactly all that took place in the second half of this game. I checked it out, realized the score was going in the same direction it was beforehand, looked at the problems and checked the box score, saw that those problems were the same problems we had said at halftime. Nothing changed. It just got worse. More of the same. I think the Memphis Grizzlies walked away with 18 offensive rebounds, and I believe the Golden State Warriors turned the ball over 24 times or something like that. So when you consider that's almost 40 possessions that the Golden State Warriors essentially just handed to the Memphis Grizzlies. There's really nothing else that really needs to be said. The only two people who had a positive plus-minus for the Golden State Warriors was Juan Toscano-Anderson and Moses Moody. Everybody else had a negative 10 or worse, basically. It was, I don't know where it stands in terms of records. I know the Golden State Warriors have spent a great deal of their time being a bad franchise, so I'm not really sure if this is the worst loss they've ever had or something like that. I don't know. But it's definitely the worst game I've ever seen Steph Curry and Klay Thompson be a part of. That's for sure. Draymond Green, it's the worst game I've ever seen them play. I don't even really want to dignify this game by actually mentioning numbers and stuff like who had what stats. It doesn't matter. The Golden State Warriors came into Memphis and might as well had sat down and just worshiped their logo. That's how bad this game was. They might as well just lay down in mid-court and worship the Grizzly logo. That's how I feel watching this. I'm like, Steph and Klay, I got on this camera with this certainty about myself, giving y'all respect that I felt you had earned, saying that you were going to send the Golden State or the Grizzlies home tonight because that's who you are. You close teams out. It's the Golden State Warriors, the Splash Brothers. It's the Warriors. I just used what I learned in the past from knowing that this team is a team that cuts you off when they, have an opportunity to, and just assume that history would continue as it had. And it just didn't happen. It just didn't happen. They came into this arena and they played like a Mike Brown team. I kid you not. And I said this in the halftime video and I'm going to say it now. What I saw from the majority of time that I watched was just another game that was a Mike Brown type game. When you watch Mike Brown for 2 years like I did, I think he was here for 2 years. I think it was about 2 years. When you watch him as much as I did, and you saw how stagnant that offense was, you saw how little fast break points we got most of the time, you saw how awful them rotations was. I mean, that's what used to kill me about his teams. We would play in the half court, and our offense was horrible 100% of the time. We would play defense, but we never got in the fast break. We never forced any turnovers, ever. So we were essentially just a team that played a lot of stable defense and a lot of half-court offense. It was such a grind to watch his teams play. It was like pulling teeth. I didn't watch the Lakers that much that season. That's how bad it was. And so when I sat there and I watched, and I'm sitting here looking at the rotations and I'm looking at his choices of players, I'm like, is he facilitating Steve Kerr's wishes, or is he doing his own thing? I started saying that in the last game. But I'm like, you know what? They won, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to leave it alone. But it's like, man, when you know, you know. And I knew. I'm not 100% certain. So when I say I knew, I have to be respectful and responsible. I'm not 100% sure. But everything that I saw today spoke to all of the things that I didn't like about having that man as our coach. You just saw all of it. The lack of energy, the blandness, the getting blown out. It happened a lot. If I look back on it, we would always find ourselves in situations where we're getting blown out like this, and he would always have that look on his face, squinting with a smile on his face and the glasses, and you're waiting for him to get mad, and he really doesn't really get mad. He just says substitution, come on out, and he says, pats a guy on the back like he's done good, and you're down by 50, and you're like, Mike, what is going on, bro? Can we run a screenplay or something? Can we do something that gets guys moving around a little bit? See, just bad flashbacks. That's all it is. That's all it is. So I'll tell you this. I don't want to talk about this game. All I'll say is please hurry back, Steve Kerr. Get back here so the quality of basketball can be good again. Because what we're seeing is just a Mike Brown game. That's all it is. Sacramento, you are in for a really tough time, fellas. I'm telling you, I know what you're in for. It's a lot of what you saw tonight. They ain't going to get this kind of result most of the time. He's not this bad. But, yeah, this is what you're in for. As far as Memphis is concerned, man, you got to give credit to up and down the board. Like I said, I didn't watch too much of this game, but I know they was kicking their tail. Jaren Jackson was doing good things. Williams came through with the blowed out afro, doing his thing as well. 3-point shots were falling. They shot above 50% from both the three and the field. Once they start realizing that Golden State wasn't going to do anything defensively against them, the shots started falling. They started feeling more confident. Crowd got into it. And the score just started running, like really running. And as it continued to run, they continued to shoot. Got to give Tyus Jones credit tonight. He played very well. Dylan Brooks still bricking shots like crazy, but it didn't matter tonight. Got away with it once again. That's the thing. I don't think he's had a good game in these playoffs. Maybe one or two good games. You look back at all those games, he's inefficient in all of them, or he hasn't been in them. And tonight was no exception, but his team got the win, so you're not upset about that. You got to give Brandon Clark the credit that he deserves, and Steven Adams. They both came in and set the tone physically, getting offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, etc., playing defense. Jaren Jackson, same thing. They very much pushed the pace and made it so that it was very difficult for a guy like Draymond to have anything going for himself. I think, if I'm not mistaken, only 10 of the Golden State Warrior turnovers were unforced. I think Memphis forced the issue on the rest of their turnovers. So you got to give credit to Memphis defensively for really just hounding the heck out of them and making life incredibly impossible for Golden State. And then in turn, Golden State just did not give any resistance to it. So Golden State gives you the ball, plays no defense, lets you win the rebounding battle, and shoots poorly while you're shooting really, really hot. You feel me? It's like you're doubling down on the different extremes. One team's playing super great and the other team is playing super poor. So that would give you what you saw there. And I'm looking forward to seeing what others have to say about this game. We're talking about 3 out of 4 blowout game 5s. I just look at the NBA and I say, I know you can't really do nothing about this, but you can really see an issue with that. When you have all 4 of your semifinal series reaching a point where there's a pivotal game 5 and the road team just does not show up at all in most of those games. And what Golden State did tonight just put a cherry on top, This has to be the worst series of Game 5s in the history of the sport. Maybe in the history of any sport that has this type of format. That's not good. That is not a good thing. And as somebody who's followed closely all these series, these teams, it's a lot of emphasis on defense, which can be a good thing, but not really for the flow of game. It's a lot of adjustments. It's a hair sensitivity to roster adjustments. That's what I'm realizing. Hair sensitivity. What that means is you put one player, just one player in the game different, and it changes the entire thing. Take one player out, changes the entire thing. That's what I'm seeing in these playoffs. It's not a whole lot of stability with these rosters. And, you know, I can honestly say that my predictions have been way off because of the unpredictability of these teams and the inconsistency of these players. You don't know what you're going to see next. I wouldn't be surprised for any outcome in the next game of this series. I don't think you can even expect Golden State to continue to struggle. For all I know, Golden State responds to this game by dropping 135 themselves. Totally possible. Totally reasonable to think they will, too. So it's just, gets to a point where you just get mentally fatigued trying to keep up, trying to break it down, and then you just, for you to have all this information and for a team to come out and do nothing. Just nothing. So that's what it was, man. That's what it was. Good old Mike Brown special. Laker fans know what I'm talking about. If you were watching back in that era, you know what you saw tonight was him. You know. But it is what it is, man. Like I said, I was rooting for Memphis anyway. I'm glad this series continues for them. Hell, I hope they go on and win it. Given that the Golden State Warriors have won a lot of championships in Memphis, they haven't won anything, man. At the end of the day, this is what it's about. When my team ain't involved, what I really want to see is fresh, new faces. That's what I want to see. Young players, new faces, and players that are willing to play well both on the road and at home. You do that, and you're going to have a happy fan here. But what I've been seeing is players that only want to play well at home. Only, the front runners. They only show up when the crowd's behind them. And I don't respect it. Not at all. BDL 44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.